Do you recognize this social stress, and when it was over that you thought to yourself, oh, I wish I had to say no. But how do you know when to say no? My name is Vera Helleman, and in the Emotion Codex I will illuminate why we feel what we feel. And in this episode I will illuminate when you know to say no. So in my working with people, I often hear people say, please teach me, how do I say no? But I think the more important question is, how do you know when to say no? And that's something your emotions will reveal. But the emotion that reveals it is the most unknown emotions for human being. Those are emotions like disgust. And I know disgust sounds like a very harsh and very loaded emotion. So we don't feel that so often. But when I speak of emotions, I also speak about emotion groups. And in emotion groups, there are positive as well as negative emotions. There are some kind of slides. So when we slide disgust to a milder expression form, then we feel not up to it, resistance, those kind of subtle emotion groups that were originally from disgust. Those emotions tell us when to say no. And I will give you an example. For example, and I just remembering coming up to me, because in my hometown I had a neighbor, and she was an old lady, and I really liked her. I really did. So often she walked through the house, and when I went out to the house, she always claimed me because she wanted to have a talk. And although I really liked her, sometimes I didn't feel right, or it wasn't convenient, or she was very depressed and claimed me, and she sucked all my energy. And yes, these feelings of not feeling into it came, but I ignored them. I ignored them because I liked her and because I was taught to be friendly, as we all, a lot of us do, like social etiquettes. So I listened and listened, and I was completely drained by her energy because, I wasn't that healthy at this moment also. So, or vital, I mean. So what happened next, I become angry and I become irritated about her. When I waited longer and listened to her more, there could be a moment that I didn't like her so much as I did. And actually that wasn't what needed to happen, because she was my friend. She did. So when I noticed emotions in the milder form of disgust, that was actually the moment when I had to say no. Then the next question is, how do you say no? But actually that's not that most important question, because the moment you realize when you have to say no, it will harm you when you ignore that knowledge. So when you understand you have to say no, it feels harmful when you don't. So you will find a way to say no in your own words, in your own capability, in the way in that moment feels right to say no to her. So I will not answer the question on how to say no. I will only answer the question when to say no, because that's the most important one. So knowing when to say no has to do with becoming aware of the subtle emotions that come in, not into the body, but in the energetic fields. Emotions are energetically, they aren't physically. They become physically when you ignore them. They are in base energetically. So we can become aware of the subtle emotions that tell us when to say no.